Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's varsity high school baseball contest between the visiting Natick High School Redhawks and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Brookline has had their fair share of ups and downs so far this season. Lost their season opener, then won 2 straight, then lost 4 straight, then won their most recent contest over at Parsons Field against Sharon High School last Wednesday, and that moved them up to 3-4 on the year thus far. Brookline trying to get back to 500 here in this game against the local rival Redhawks. Okay, are we back? Yeah, we're back. Sorry about that, folks. The wind literally blew off my audio interface, which disconnected my headset. It's a little breezy out here at Warren Field today. So here's hoping everything stays nice and stable throughout this contest. It's a little windy, but at the very least the weather is better than it was yesterday. And remember, as always, if you notice any technical issues coming up throughout this contest, either with the audio or the video, I encourage you to let me know in the live chat. It might be something I don't notice on my end, and it might be something I can fix. So it never hurts to say something. Like, for example, that slight issue there where my audio cut out completely was something I could fix because it was just that the wind had blown my equipment and unplugged the mic. So easy enough fix that time. So like I was saying, last year, Brookline and Natick faced off twice. Natick got the win both times. The Redhawks secured a narrow 3-0 victory in their own home field in Natick last April in 2022. And then back here at Parsons, they got a mercy rule win in 5 innings by a final score of 13-2. So Brookline hoping to change the narrative here today. And with that in mind, let's take a look at the lineups for the two teams coming in today. First, for the visiting Natick High Redhawks. Leading off for Natick, the center fielder, number 14, Jack Byrne. Batting second, the second baseman, number 2, Robert Farr. Batting third, the catcher, number 35, Will Fosberg. Batting cleanup and taking the mound for Natick today, number 33, Charlie Collins. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 3, Jason O'Keefe. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 1, Jack Wireman. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 9, Ryan Jewett. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 7, Hank Bodewin. And batting ninth, the third baseman, number 11, Drew George. Head coach of the Natick High baseball team is Jason Hoy. And if there are any Natick fans tuning into this live stream and you notice me absolutely flubbing anyone's names, please let me know and correct me in the live chat. You know, I want to give these young men the best coverage I possibly can, and to me, part of that includes getting their names right. But now that we've given the starting lineup for Natick, let's give the starting lineup for the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Leading off for Brookline today, the shortstop, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Batting second, the catcher, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. Batting third, the third baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 23, Elias Brendel. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 2, Owen Hoffman. And batting ninth, the center fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. Not in the batting order, but starting on the mound for Brookline today, number 7, James Dialchand Erickson. Head coach of the Brookline High baseball team is Brendan O'Connor. So those are the two starting lineups coming into today's contest. Natick almost done with their warm-ups, and then Brookline will take the field for the top of the first inning. It is Brookline against Natick. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Warren Field, and you are watching Brookline High Baseball. Oh my gosh, did he catch that? Ryan Kravitz with the acrobatics out in center. Swing and a miss. Dialchand Erickson gets out of the jam. He makes contact. This is into the outfield. Oh, it was a late takeoff, but it's skid past the center fielder. Doctoroff rounding third. Here he comes. Brookline wins. All right, so we see some coaches and captains meeting around home plate. Brookline getting ready to take to the field. Once again, Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan coming to you live from Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts for today's varsity high school baseball contest between Brookline and Natick. Remember, as always, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. I got one more baseball game this week on Wednesday, and then tomorrow I'll be taking to the volleyball court for the first time to cover Brookline High boys volleyball. Got a game with them Tuesday and Thursday this week, so be sure to stay tuned for those. Subscribing to the channel can help. And then if there's anything you'd like to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. Could be as simple as go Brookline or go Natick. Doesn't matter who you're rooting for. We always appreciate bringing the good vibes in the live chat, no matter which team is your team. Or if you want to shout out your favorite player, you might be watching to root for a family member or a friend, you can give them a shout out in the live chat. If you want to let us know where you're tuning in from, that's always fun. With these online live streams that can be seen all over the world. And like I said before, if you notice any technical difficulties or any mispronunciations of names, then I also encourage you to let me know and correct me in the live chat. We've got one note in the live chat so far from Kim Chung-sik. Let's go Brookline. Happy to see you back in the live chat, Chung-sik. Always happy to see you tuning in. Brookline taking the field now, and we see warming up on the mound for Brookline is number 7, James Dialchand Erickson. As you can see, this is his 4th pitching appearance this season. He's had 3 so far with 2 starts. He's got a win-loss record of 0-1. He's pitched 11 2/3 innings through his first 3 appearances with an ERA of 4.80, a whip of 1.54, and 9 strikeouts. So he'll be hoping for a good outing today, and in particular kind of a redemption outing. He did start Brookline's 2nd game against Natick, which was also here at Warren Field last year, and had by far his worst outing of the year, one that really ended up kind of ballooning his stats and making them look much worse than the season he'd actually had aside from that game. He pitched 2+ innings, gave up 11 earned runs on 8 hits, 3 walks, 3 hit by pitches, and 2 strikeouts. So Dialchin Derrickson definitely hoping for something better against the Redhawks here today. Top of the 1st inning, and he'll be facing the top of the order for Natick. That'll be Jack Byrne, Robert Farr, and Will Fosberg. Now, Fosberg and Byrne both played in both games against Brookline last year. So both guys that are familiar with Dialchin Derrickson as they faced him last year. As among the returning starters for those games for Natick, we have those 2, Fosberg and Byrne, also Charlie Collins and Ryan Jewett returned from last year. But it's a new season, it's a new day, and it's a new game, and we're about to get this one started. Warm-up throws are done. Dialchin Derrickson setting up on the hill. And stepping into the box for Natick, the center fielder, number 14, Jack Byrne. First pitch catches the inside corner for strike 1. That one comes in low, ball 1. Dialchin Derrickson working the low corner here in this first at bat. And that one's also low for ball 2. 2-1, the count to Byrne here to start this one. That one well inside for ball 3. Early hitters count for Byrne. And he skies this one. It's going to go foul and out of play for strike 2. Full count to Byrne. And he gets a piece of it and stays alive. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dialchin Derrickson caught him chasing low and outside for out number 1. Good painting of the corners by Dialchin Derrickson. He worked him inside for much of that at bat, and then the last 2 pitches, the foul off and the strikeout, he managed to catch Byrne chasing with the mix-up there. Good fight from Dialchin Derrickson for the first batter. That first pitch is going to miss for ball 1. At the plate for Natick is the second baseman, number 2, Robert Farr. one of those little number coincidences that just make you smile a little bit. The number 2 batter, the second baseman, and number 2 on the jersey as he takes outside ball 2. All the 2s, all the time. That one catches the inside corner for strike 1. You can see, again, Dialchin Erickson working back and forth. He went inside with that first ball, outside with the second ball, and then inside with the first strike. This one's a grounder over to short, fielded by Sawada, thrown to first, and that's going to be out number 2. Keenan Sawada starting at short for the second time this season. He's proven himself one of Brookline's most adept infielders, and he's shown the ability to play second, third, and short, although he hasn't played third yet this year. But looking strong to start at short once again. That first pitch is in there for strike 1. At the plate for Natick now, the catcher, number 35, Will Fosberg. Last time he faced Dialchin Erickson, he went 1 for 3 with a triple, a sac fly, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBI as he takes high ball 1 there. The Natick dugout bringing the noise right from the first inning here at Warren, as that one's going to skip low and away, or away from the catcher. It was in, not away, in terms of the location, but either way, it's ball 2. That one is low as well for ball 3. So a 3-1 count to Fosberg with the bases empty and 2 down. Hard contact right at Jernigan. Strong liner from Fosberg, but unlucky with the placement. And Natick goes down in order in the top of the first. Now the Red Hawks take the field for the bottom of the first inning. As Brookline will send their top of the order. Keenan Sawada, Ben Doctoroff, and Nate Kessler. And taking the mound for Natick will be number 33, Charlie Collins. Collins, a familiar face for the Brookline offense. He both started and pitched. He started both games against Brookline last year for the Red Hawks and finished both games both times through a complete game shutout in Natick in the first game, allowing 3 hits and 2 walks with 9 strikeouts. And then in the second game, pitched all 5 innings of the Mercy Rule win, gave up two unearned runs on 3 hits and 5 walks with 4 strikeouts. So not quite as dominant the second time around, but still has yet to give up an earned run to the Warriors, and this now his 3rd time facing them in 2 seasons. And as you can see, Collins a southpaw. And one thing I recall from those Natick games last year is Collins has a very good pickoff move at first, taking advantage of his position as a lefty. And for a team that, can rely on small ball and strong base running the way Brookline does, that can seriously cripple their ability to produce runs. We'll see how Brookline handles that pressure here in their 3rd time around against Collins. They improved from no runs scored to 2 runs scored in their 2 matchups against him last year, although both those runs were unearned. We'll see what their offense can produce today. Leading off for Brookline, the shortstop, number 5, Keenan Sawada. As you can see from the graphic at the bottom of your screen, Sawada batting 6 for 19 so far this season with 8 walks, 4 steals, 6 runs scored, and 2 RBI. And as you can see by the asterisk marks on those stat lines, he leads the team in hits, walks, steals, and runs. So he's been a very reliable part of their offense at the top of the order, and he'll be hoping to get things started right here in the bottom of the first. And slices that one foul for strike 1. This one comes in high for ball 1. Sawada last year against Collins in the first game, he was 0 for 2 with a walk. In the second game, he did not play as he takes strike 2 there. You know, that's one interesting bit of stats I'll be able to show you here today is how batters fared, not just against Natick, but specifically against this pitcher. That one comes in high. Collins was trying to bring drop and pitch, may have been going for the slider there, but did not drop enough, and it's 2-2. That one just high and outside. Sawada fights his way to a full count here. And Sawada reaches out, lifts this one out to left. That's going to go foul. And so Sawada stays alive at 3-2. That pitch in there for strike 3. Sawada thought he had an outside ball 4, but in fact it caught the corner. And we've got a bit of a mirror image for both teams' leadoff hitters. Both of them fought to a full count and then fouled one off and then went down on strikes. Both Byrne in the top of the first and Sawada in the bottom. Now up for Brookline, the catcher, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. First pitch comes in low for ball 1. Doctoroff, as you can see so far, batting 2 for 10 with 1 double, 3 walks, 2 runs, and 2 RBI. This one comes in high for ball 2. Last year against Collins, Doctoroff had only 1 plate appearance as a pinch hitter in the first game, and he drew a walk. And now he's very close to drawing another here with a 3-0 count. But he takes strike 1 down Broadway, and it is now 3-1. Oh, and that one is in there for strike 2. Once again, a Brookline batter thought he had ball 4, but in fact it was another strike. That one's low, and that one is ball 4. Doctoroff draws himself a free pass. Now coming to the plate for Brookline, the third baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. Doctoroff leading off from first. That's going to be an important situation to keep an eye on. Like I said, Collins a lefty with a strong pickoff move at first. First pitch in there for strike 1. Kessler so far this season, 6 for 19 with 3 walks, 2 hit by pitches, 4 runs scored, and 3 RBI. Shares the team lead in hits with Sawada. That one inside, came close to hitting him, but not quite. And it'll be a 1-1 count. Kessler lifts this one out to shallow center, and it's going to be caught for out number 1. Or out number 2, I should say, excuse me. I think I said out number 1 there. Losing track of things. But either way, now at the plate with 2 down and a runner at first, the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. First pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. Jernigan, as you can see, a third player sharing the team lead with 6 hits so far. He's batting 6 for 21, 2 doubles, a walk, a hit by pitch, 3 runs scored, and 4 RBI. As that one comes in high for a ball, they check on Doctoroff, and he gets back safely. Jernigan leads the team in doubles and is tied for the team lead in RBI with 4. Last year, he went 0 for 3 the first time against Collins, and the second game he did not play. Went down on strikes all 3 times against Collins last year as he fouls this one off for strike 1. And that's the tough thing. Jernigan has definitely got the biggest bat in Brookline's lineup, but a lot of times what you see with the guys with the biggest swings is they tend to go down on strikes most often, and that has proven true for Jernigan so far this season, but still he does provide that threat of something like that happening as it goes out to right. That's going to drop fair down the right field line. Jernigan heading down to second, comes in with a big 2-out double, and runners are now at second and third for Brookline. Forgive me if that camera angle didn't do that hit justice, as that was basically directly behind me from where I'm situated. But now, Brookline with a big chance to score. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. Up comes the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. First pitch in there, strike 1. Kravitz so far this season 2 for 16 with a pair of walks, a steal, and 2 runs scored. That one comes in low for ball 1. Lifts this one out to right, and it's going to be caught out and right, and that will end the inning. So the first inning ends with no score on either side. Brookline able to threaten, but cannot bring anyone home. So as we head into the top of the second, we are scoreless here at Warren Field. Forgive me for the adjustments to the camera. I'm trying some new things, seeing if I can catch some better camera angles on some of these hits. You know, I was able to do, some different things during last week's games at Parsons Field because I was filming from up in the press box, so I had some elevation, and I had a view from home plate, so I was able to, do some more funky things there. But here, no elevation to speak of, and I got kind of a sideways angle, so it can be a little tricky sometimes making the camera angle work for me. But I hope it comes out relatively okay. Dialchand Erickson returns to the mound for Brookline after a strong first inning. hoping to keep that momentum going here in the second against Natick's 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Collins, O'Keefe, and Wireman. Warm-up throws have concluded. Now stepping up to the plate for Natick, the pitcher, number 33, Charlie Collins. Collins last year against Dialchin Derrickson, he went 1 for 3 with a double, a walk, and an RBI, and his pinch runner scored 1 run. Takes it low and inside for ball 1. And that one is tipped off for strike 1. Again, we see Dialchin Derrickson alternating inside, outside, trying to keep the Red Hawks hitters off balance. And that one is tipped for strike 2. I think Collins' bat actually hit that one twice. First on the initial swing and then a second time on the follow-through. 1-2, now the count. And he chased it in the dirt for strike 3, well blocked by Doktorov. Wait, he's trying to readjust, does get to first. A brief scare on the dropped third strike, as I think Doktorov was trying to make sure he had a clear throw to first. But eventually he did, and so Collins does officially go down on strikes. 1 out in the inning. Now up to the plate, the first baseman, number 3, Jason O'Keefe. O'Keefe takes strike 1 there. Reaches out and fouls that one off. That'll be strike 2. Swing and a miss. Caught him with the off speed that time. 2 up and 2 down on strikes. And now coming up for Natick, the left fielder, number 1, Jack Wireman. Lifts this one. Is it going to stay in play? It's being chased. And coming in from left to snag it is Ryan Kravitz. And that is going to end the inning. So once again, Dialchin Derrickson puts the Red Hawks hitters down in order. A very strong start for the Brookline hurler. By this time, in last year's game, he had already given up 2 runs. But of course, it was the 3rd inning that was the nightmare inning for Dialchin Derrickson. So it'll be an interesting test for the Brookline junior once that turn comes around. But for now, we are in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Brookline will be sending their 6, 7, 8 hitters up to the plate. That'll be Hart, Brendel, and Hoffman. Brookline got a taste of what they could potentially do with the bat against Collins with that big 2-out double by Jernigan. But the question is, can they follow that up? They did struggle against Collins both times last year to generate runs. But let's see what they do here in the second inning. Leading off for Brookline, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Hart coming off a fantastic game against Sharon last week. Had a double, a single, and 3 RBI. As he takes that one high over the head for ball 1. Hart so far for the season batting 3 for 18 with a double, 4 walks, 2 steals, 4 runs scored, and a tie for the team lead at 4 RBI as he takes a low ball 2. Good contact. Is that going to drop out and left? It does. And Hart is going to pull up at first with a leadoff single. So a leadoff runner for Brookline as Nico Hart continuing his offensive momentum from last week. Now at the plate, the designated hitter, number 23, Elias Brendel. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. So I forgot to correct the count there. Brendel, so far in limited action this season, 1 for 3 with a walk. Hits a grounder here. Chased down by the second baseman, thrown to first, and that's going to be out number 1. Good range there by Farr to chase down that ground out. Hart is moved into scoring position, though. So Brendel still potentially helps out the cause. Now coming up to the plate for Brookline, second baseman, number 2, Owen Hoffman. That's inside, but catches the corner for strike 1. Another interesting coincidence, both teams playing their number 2 at second base today, with Farr for Natick and Hoffman here for Brookline. That one's low. They're going to go for a pickoff. They caught Hart between the bags. Hart going down to third. He is not going to make that in time. And Natick, with the good throw from Fosberg, catches Hart, and just like that, it goes from 1 out and a runner in scoring position to 2 outs and bases empty. Hart just a little, caught unawares with that throwdown as Hoffman chases that one high, and that's going to be strike 3. So I think I neglected, I might have reset the count there when dealing with the attempted dealing with the throwdown there. But that does end the inning. Hoffman goes down on strikes, and through 2, we are still scoreless here at Warren Field. Again, Brookline gets a base hit, and again, they get a runner in scoring position, but again, they cannot finish. So now we get ready for the third inning. Dialch and Erickson getting ready to face the bottom of the order for Natick, the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Jewett, Bodewin, and George. I mentioned before that last time Dialch and Erickson faced Natick, the third inning turned into a bit of a nightmare for him where he gave up 9 of his 11 earned runs. And the game would end up turning into a bit of a blowout that Natick would ultimately win in 5 innings by a final of 13-2. So far today, though, Dialchin Derrickson has been dealing. He's put everyone down in order. Can he keep that momentum going? Leading off for Natick here in the third, the shortstop, number 9, Ryan Jewett. First pitch just high, ball 1. Jewett, one of the returning players from last year. He was simply a courtesy runner last time Dialchin Derrickson took the hill, as he was courtesy running for Collins, currently facing a 2-0 count. And he takes strike 1 there. Jewett did start in the other game in Natick last year, and he went 1 for 3 with a stolen base. Makes contact here, a grounder right at Jernigan, fielded well, going to take it himself for out number 1. So now with 1 down and the base is empty, up comes the right fielder, number 7, Hank Bodewin. That first pitch is going to skip in the dirt for ball 1. And again, the energy coming from both dugouts, even this early in the game, really speaks to how intense the rivalry between Brookline and Natick can be. You know, I think it's kind of an underrated rivalry of sorts, as that pitch misses outside for ball 2. And wait a second. Oh, this doesn't look good. Oh, something might have popped for Dialchin Derrickson. Oh my gosh. They're going to have to pull him out of the game. Oh my gosh. It looks like he's holding his elbow on his pitching arm. Oh no. Oh man, you don't want to see that. Well, at this stage, all you can hope is that that's nothing serious, and that he'll be able to return to the mound at some point this season. But for today, his day is done, and what a shame that is on so many levels. You know, least of which probably is that he was having a very nice game so far today. He had sent down all the batters he had faced so far. But then I don't know, something must have popped in his elbow or something. I don't know. But either way, a new pitcher will be coming up for Brookline, number 22, Charlie Engelman. As you can see from the stats, Engelman with 4 appearances, including 1 start so far this season, a 1-1 win-loss record. He's pitched 8 2/3 with an ERA of 6.46, a WHIP of 1.50, and 6 Ks. Engelman was able to shut the door on Brookline's win against Sharon last week, and he's hoping to come in with a strong relief effort here, a bit of an emergency relief effort here in lieu of Dialchin Derrickson's apparent injury. Coincidentally enough, Engelman, also a pitcher who faced Natick last year. He came on in relief in the first game out in Natick. He pitched 1 inning of relief, allowed 2 runs, 1 earned, on 3 hits and 1 walk while striking out 1. So he'll be hoping to get to pitch more than just 1 inning here, and hopefully keep the momentum that Dialchin Derrickson started with. But that could be a potentially devastating blow to this Brookline team, potentially long term. I mean, when you're talking about the pitching elbow, I mean, that's just tough. Kind of just sucks the air out of the ball game a little bit. But as we get ready to resume play, we've still got a game to play. Stepping back in will be Hank Bodewin. He's got a 2-0 count with one down, and the base is empty here in the top of the third. Engelman now on the hill. First pitch is rocketed out to right, and that's going to drop in right. A clean single for Bodewin. And boy, that is not what you want to see happen on your reliever's first pitch. Not necessarily because Engelman did anything wrong with the pitch, but just not the momentum you want him to start with. As this one's a dribbler, past the pitcher, juggled by Kessler at third, and that is going to be a reach-on error for George. So 2 pitches and 2 safe base runners. Natick starting to rally here in the third, and now we cycle back to the top of the order with the center fielder, number 14, Jack Byrne. That pitch going to miss outside for ball 1. That pitch going to miss outside as well, ball 2. Byrne, his last time up, went down on strikes. And here he takes high, ball 3. And again, this is why you don't want, like, that first pitch that your reliever throws to be smacked for a hit, because all of a sudden that might start getting in his head potentially. 3-0 count, and misses for a 4-pitch walk. The disaster compounding for Brookline as now the bases are loaded with 1 out. Up comes the second baseman, number 2, Robert Farr. Farr grounded out to short his last time up. Now up with the bases loaded and 1 down. First pitch high and inside, ball 1. And now Doctoroff coming out for a mound visit with Engelman. After Engelman throws 5 straight balls. A lot of them missing to that inside corner for righties, outside for lefties, which can be kind of a bad habit that Engelman sometimes struggles with, that sometimes his pitches hang to that side of the plate. That one in there for strike 1. And that is how you want to see a pitcher respond to a mound visit. Immediately go back to throwing strikes. And that one in the dirt for ball 2. Well blocked by Doctoroff, as anything that gets past him could potentially bring in the game's first run, with Bodewin standing at third. That pitch misses well outside for ball 3. 3-1 count now to Farr. That one's in there for strike 2. And he fouls this one off his foot. So far, still alive. He's just going to walk that one off a little bit. Still alive with a full count, and the bases loaded here in this scoreless contest. And that misses inside. And that is going to bring in the game's first run on a bases-loaded walk. Bodewin comes in to score. As Farr gets the RBI walk, and now with the bases still loaded and one out, up comes Will Fosberg as he fouls off the first pitch. Fosberg, his last time out, lined out to first. This one comes in low for ball one. Hard grounder here over to second, fielded cleanly at second, thrown to second for one, on to first. Not in time, but they caught a guy between third and home. They're chasing him down. Flip to the catcher. They're running him down back to third. It's a chase, throw back, and they got the tag. Brookline secures the double play. One run does score on that play, but it does end the inning. Okay, so let's sort through what on earth just happened. So Fosberg grounds into a 4-6 fielder's choice, drives in one run as George comes in to score. After all the runners advanced one base safely, except for Farr, who was thrown out at second, caught between third and home was Byrne, and he got tagged in the rundown. So because all the runners reached one base safely, the run still counts. George does score, and that does make it 2-0. However, the inning does end because they got Farr at second on the fielder's choice, and then they caught Byrne between third and home. Because that's the basic rule of how runs score when there's two outs in baseball, is if everyone reaches the base that they are forced to go to, then then whatever run comes across is officially valid. But if you get caught between the bags after that, the run still counts, even though the out ends the inning. So as we head to the bottom of the third, the score, the Natick High Redhawks 2, the Brookline High Warriors 1. It's going to be the 9-1-2 hitters for Brookline, Siegel, Sawada, and Doctoroff. As what was a bit of a nightmare inning for Brookline, they managed to escape with only 2 runs on the board. Things started to get out of hand a little quickly there, but, you know, thanks to a rather heads-up play by Keenan Sawada over at short, they managed to catch the runner between the bags to end the inning. Now coming up to the plate, the center fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. First pitch is high for ball one. Siegel so far this season 4 for 21 with 1 walk, a team leading 4 hit by pitches. as he takes ball 2. Also 3 stolen bases, 2 runs scored, and he's tied for the lead in RBI with 4. Swing and a miss there, strike 1. Siegel got out to a hot start for Brookline in the first 3 games. Bat's gone a little bit cold since then. But those of us who saw him last year know that he's capable of really getting hot at the plate as he fouls off that pitch for strike 2. And that one's going to come in high for ball 3. Full count to Siegel. In there for strike 3. Another Brookline hitter who thought he had a ball, but in fact had a strike. Siegel goes down looking, and with 1 out, up comes the shortstop, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Sawada, just like Siegel did before him, went down on strikes his first time up back in the first inning. He also thought he potentially had ball 4 as Collins finished him on a payoff pitch. But there he takes ball 1. That one misses for ball 2. That one catches the zone, strike 1. This one comes in low, ball 3. Makes contact here. It's a grounder over to second, fielded by Farr, thrown to first, and that will be out number 2. It's 2 down now in the bottom of the 3rd. Up comes the catcher, number 8, Ben Doktoroff. Doktoroff, his last time up, he drew a walk. As he takes strike 1 here. So between last year and this year, Doktoroff has faced Collins twice at the plate so far and drawn a free pass both times. But there he takes strike 2, so Doktoroff now in the hole early with an 0-2 count. That one going to be inside for ball 1. He makes contact, and that's going to skip into right field, and Doktoroff going to secure himself a 2-out hit. It might not have been the prettiest hit. I don't know how well it came through on my mic, but that made just the ugliest sound coming off the bat. You could tell that that was not off the sweet spot, but it found a sweet spot in between the first and second baseman in the field. And so Doktoroff reaches base once again. Now at the plate, the third baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. First pitch in there, strike 1. Kessler's last time up, he flew out to center. That pitch manages to curve into the inside corner for strike 2. And that one misses high and away for ball 1. And Kessler, defensive swing, that pops up. That might stay in play. It will. No, it won't. It just caught the edge of the cage. Fosberg was under that one, waiting for it to come down into his glove, but the backstop fence caught it. And so Kessler stays alive at 1-2. And that one skips away from the catcher, and Doctoroff takes off. That'll be a low ball 2 to Kessler, and the wild pitch will advance Doctoroff to second. So for the third straight inning, Brookline gets a runner to scoring position, but can they get one home is the question. And Kessler with a half-hearted swing, got fooled on that one, and goes down on strikes. We are through 3 here at Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. The score, the Natick High Redhawks 2, the Brookline High Warriors 0. Charlie Engelman returning to the mound for another inning of relief work. And, you know, one thing I've said before is, you know, if a reliever can manage to get through that first inning, you know, get over those, you know, first inning of relief jitters, especially if they come in emergency relief, like Engelman did after Dale Chenderiksen's injury. If they can get through those first inning jitters, then they could potentially really settle in and deliver a strong relief outing. You know, we'll see if that's the case for Engelman as he gets ready to face the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Natick, Collins, O'Keefe, and Wireman. Warm-up throws are done, and we are ready to start the 4th inning. Stepping into the box for Natick, the pitcher, number 33, Charlie Collins. Collins went down on strikes his last time up, but now here facing a new pitcher in the 4th. First pitch comes in low for ball 1. And that one comes in high for ball 2. Hits a hard grounder here, fielded by Hoffman, thrown to first, and that's going to be out number 1. Good awareness by the first baseman, Connor Jernigan. My guess is that he heard Hoffman calling for that grounder and smartly turned around and went to cover first. Hoffman showing some good range there at second. Hard grounder here from O'Keefe, fielded cleanly by Sawada, thrown to first, and that's 2 down. The infielders taking care of business behind Engelman. And if you're a pitcher, this is exactly what you want to see. This is what's going to give you the confidence to throw strikes and trust in the fielders behind you. Now Wireman up to the plate, and he swings for strike 1. Wireman, his last time up, he flew out in foul territory to the left. So that one misses outside for ball 1. Slices this one. It's going to stay in the infield. It's being tracked by Sawada, and he's got it for out number 3. Engelman got to be feeling much better about that inning as he starts to find his rhythm with a 1-2-3-4. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, the score still the Natick High Redhawks 2, the Brookline High Warriors 0. It's going to be the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Brookline now, as both teams in the same spot in the order at this point. So for Brookline, that's going to be Jernigan, Kravitz, and Hart. So 2 of the players that have gotten a base hit against Collins so far in Jernigan and Hart will be coming up this inning. As so far, Brookline has 3 base hits against the Natick Southpaw so far today. The double from Jernigan back in the 1st, the single from Hart in the 2nd, and the single from Doctoroff in the 3rd. The problem for Brookline has been stringing those hits together to form a proper rally. Now stepping into the box for Brookline, the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. First pitch in there, strike 1. Jernigan got a double down to right his last time up. Big swing and a miss there, strike 2. And that one low for ball 1. Makes contact, and it goes past the third baseman into left. Jernigan reaches base safely for the 2nd time today, and Brookline's got a leadoff runner on. I'll have to check the game changer to see whether they scored that a single or an E5. I could see it being scored either way. But regardless, now up to the plate for Brookline, the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. First pitch in there for a strike. Kravitz flew out to right his last time up. Hoping to have a chance to move the runner along this time. And we see our first attempted pickoff from Collins, and Jernigan gets back safely. Brookline has not been very aggressive on the base paths today. Understandably, as they've seen Collins twice now from last year, they know what he can do against base runners. Kravitz, a hard grounder over to short, fielded, thrown to second. They get 1, on to first. They do not get 2. A 6-4 fielder's choice. that will be the first out of the inning. Now coming up, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Hart got a single his last time up. Did advance to second, but was caught between second and third. As a check swing grounder goes back to the pitcher, Collins throws second. They dropped it! Shortstop thought about the throw before the catch. He was trying to switch from glove to throwing hand before he had finished securing the throw. So Brookline gets a bit of a lucky break there, and they now have 2 runners on with 1 out. Now coming up to the plate, the designated hitter, number 23, Elias Brendel. First pitch in there, strike 1. Brendel, his last time up, grounded out to second. As it's another pitch out attempt, and this time the throw is going to miss, and Kravitz was paying attention and dove back to second. But that's the second time we've seen that move from Fosberg, as I believe the pitch itself was a ball. I'm not 100% sure on that. And that pitch is going to skip in the dirt. So I believe the count is 2-1. And that one is in there for strike 2. So the count is 2-2. That pitch kind of confirms it. 2-2 the count, 1 down, runners at first and second. That's in there for strike 3. Brendel goes down looking. And with 2 on and 2 down, up comes the second baseman, number 2, Owen Hoffman. This one hits the dirt for ball 1. Hoffman's got just 1 hit so far this season. He had a nice blast out to right field against Braintree, but aside from that, no base hits. He's hoping for one right here. Makes contact right at the shortstop. Well tracked by Jewett. And again, Brookline leaves their runners stranded. We are through 4 here at Warren Field. The score, Natick 2, Brookline 0. At this 4th inning intermission, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about Language Virtual. Language Virtual is a nonprofit organization made by Brookline High School students in order to help other students all over the world. Language Virtual offers free English language lessons online to students around the globe. These lessons are taught by volunteer high school students, many of them from right here in Brookline, who are recruited by Language Virtual to teach these ELL lessons through the simplest, most tried and true method of learning a language, conversation. To date, Language Virtual has recruited over 100 teachers to teach over 700 students across more than 10 different countries. And with the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, Language Virtual has seen an influx of students of Ukrainian descent, hoping they displaced by the war and hoping that these English lessons can help them adjust to their new living situations. Visit languagevirtual.org to find out how you can register. either as a volunteer student teacher or as a student in need of these lessons. You can also donate money to Language Virtual to help them continue teaching students in need and fostering these worldwide connections. Once again, that's languagevirtual.org. And as always, you can see all that information about the website down in the description section down below. Now leading off for Natick, the shortstop, number 9, Ryan Jewett. First pitch, he slices it, going to stay in the infield. Engelman tracking it over his shoulder, and he's got it for out number 1. And again, important to note for Language Virtual, many of their students do come from Brookline, but also there are a number of students who aren't from Brookline but are from other schools around eastern Massachusetts. So even if you're, say, a Natick High student and you are multilingual and you want to help out some other students in need, then this could be an opportunity to do so. As Hank Bodewin now at the plate fouls it off for strike 2. Bodewin was the first batter that Engelman faced when he came on in emergency relief back in the 3rd. He singled to right off Engelman's first pitch, but now facing an 0-2 count. As that one misses low and away for ball 1. That one's also going to be low for ball 2. As Bodewin checks his swing on... No, he didn't check his swing. Bodewin went around. So Bodewin down on strikes. And now coming up, the third baseman, number 11, Drew George. Swing and a miss, strike 1. George, his last time up, reached on an E5. Hard grounder here. Chased down at second by Hoffman. Thrown to first. Good snag around the shoestrings by Connor Jernigan for the 4-3 ground out to end the inning. So the Brookline defense continues to take care of business. That rocky 3rd inning aside, they've been lights out. Every single inning aside from that tricky 3rd inning has been a 1-2-3 inning for the Brookline defense. But their offense hasn't been able to find ways to produce runs, and it's got them in need of a comeback going into the bottom of the 5th inning. Due up for Brookline will be the 9-1-2 hitters, Siegel, Sawada, and Doctoroff. Collins returning to the mound. He's faced a scoring threat every single inning, but he's always stayed cool in the clutch and kept Brookline off the board. The Warriors have put a runner in scoring position each inning, but have not scored once. So again, just a matter of needing to string a lot of positive offensive plays together in a single inning instead of getting, 1 or 2 positive plays an inning, but not enough to get a run home. That's the end of the warm-up throws. Leading off for Brookline here in the bottom of the 5th will be the center fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. Siegel, his last time up, went down on strikes back in the 3rd. First pitch in there for strike 1. Good contact here. That's launched out to left. The left fielder tracking it, backing up, and he's got the catch for out number 1. Siegel got a lot of that pitch, but unfortunately just hung in the air a little too long and into the wrong spot for a fly out to left. Sawada shows bunt but pulls back for ball 1. Brookline shortstop 0 for 2 so far today with a strikeout and a ground out as he takes strike 1 there. That one misses, ball 2. That one gonna miss for ball 3. 3-1 count to Sawada. That one in there, strike 2. Full count now to Sawada. And slices that one foul. Sawada stays alive at 3-2. That one again fools him as Sawada takes strike 3. Two down now in the bottom of the 5th. And up comes the catcher, number 8, Ben Doktoroff. Doktoroff's got a single and a walk so far today as he takes strike 1 inside. And a swing and a miss there. Doktoroff behind that pitch, and he'll be down 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Doktoroff goes down on strikes. We are through 5 here at Warren Field. Our score after 5, Natick 2, Brookline 0. For the first time all day, Brookline fails to get a runner on base. There is some activity going in the Brookline bullpen. Over yonder you can see number 23, Elias Brendel, warming up as Charlie Engelman returns to the hill for the Warriors for the top of the 6th inning. Engelman has settled in very nicely after a shaky 3rd inning and has put Natick down in order in both the 4th and the 5th. Now getting ready for the top of the 6th, he'll be facing the top of the order with Byrne, Farr, and Fosberg. Natick hoping to add to their 2-run lead. Warm-up throws are done. Now leading off for Natick here in the top of the 6th, center fielder, number 14, Jack Byrne. Byrne 0 for 1 so far today. He's walked and struck out. And he fouls off that first pitch for strike 1. And that'll be strike 2. Engelman takes a brief step off the rubber. And he catches him chasing. That's strike 3, picked up by Doctoroff, thrown down to first, and Jernigan couldn't secure it. Byrne is going to reach on the dropped third strike. Jernigan was covering that one with his left foot, as I think Brookline coach O'Connor is trying to potentially argue runner interference there. But I think in a situation like that, Jernigan has, got to find a way to hustle so that he can cover the bag with his right foot and really extend out along the foul territory to potentially catch that one. Although when you're taught to run to first, you're taught to break to your right, so Jernigan can't really go that route either. So there's not really a good spot for him to be in a situation like that, and we saw how tricky that could be the last time there was a drop third strike. Doctoroff was able to adjust that first time and throw the guy out, but that time he could not. So a runner at first at the plate for Natick, the second baseman, number 2, Robert Farr. Throw to first, check on Byrne as he dives back safely. Farr, his last time up, drew a bases-loaded walk to drive in Natick's first run of the game. Before that, he grounded out to short. Hit and run here as it's going to go out to left and drop foul, and Byrne will have to retreat back to first. And that will be strike 2 against Farr. And reaches out and hits a dribbler, fielded by Hoffman, flipped to second, on to first, 4-6-3, the double play. Excellent execution by Hoffman at second, Sawada at short, and Jernigan at first. Brookline takes care of business there, and now coming up, the catcher, number 35, Will Fosberg, as that pitch is going to miss for ball 1. That one gonna miss outside for ball 2. That one's gonna miss for ball 3. Fosberg, his last time up, grounded out into that weird fielder's choice that turned into a double play that ended that 3rd inning rally. That one manages to catch the zone for strike 1. So Fosberg technically 0 for 2 with 1 RBI. Skies this one deep out to right center, and Hart stumbled and could not track it down. Fosberg rounding second, going to third. Sawada picks up the relay, throws down to third. They just barely can't get there in time. Fosberg with a 2-out triple. So now with 2 down and a runner at third, hoping to add to his cause is the Natick pitcher, number 33, Charlie Collins. First pitch is high, gets away from Doctoroff, runner takes off, Doctoroff picks it up, throws to the home, and Engelman tagged him! Brookline escapes multiple near disasters as Fosberg is caught stealing home. Brookline gets out of the inning with no score allowed. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, the score remains 2-0 in favor of Natick. Doctoroff and Engelman, a good, quick recovery after that sort of a delayed passed ball of sorts. It looked like Doctoroff was going to secure it, but then it just bounced off his glove. But it didn't bounce past very fast, and so I think it was probably a bit of a delayed takeoff for Fosberg from third, and that resulted in him getting caught at home. Coming up for Brookline here in the bottom of the 6th will be the 3-4-5 hitters, Kessler, Jernigan, and Kravitz, as Collins returns to the mound for a 6th inning of work. He's got 5 shutout innings going so far against Brookline, helping his team hold on to a narrow 2-0 lead. Props again to the Brookline defense for escaping a very tough 6th inning. First, you had a runner reach on a dropped 3rd strike, but then the defense responded immediately with a 4-6-3 double play. Then a big triple out to right where the right fielder kind of lost his footing while trying to track the ball. And then a passed ball seemed like it would potentially bring in the run for Natick, but again, Brookline responded well, caught the guy at home, and ended up with no score. But again, the onus is on the Brookline offense to make something happen so they can get back in this ball game. Leading off for Brookline, the 3rd baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. First pitch is low for ball 1. Kessler 0 for 2 so far today. He has struck out and flown out to center. Makes contact here, grounder right at the 3rd baseman, fielded by George, thrown to first and taken off the scoop for the 5-3 ground out. One down, and now up comes the 1st baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. Jernigan has reached base safely in both of his plate appearances. He had that big double back in the first, as he takes a high ball one here. His last time up, he hit that hard grounder that went past the third baseman back in the fourth, as he takes high ball two. And they scored that as a reach-on error. So technically, Jernigan 1 for 2. Tips that one for strike one. And that one's going to be a high ball 3. That one catches the zone for strike 2. Looked like Jernigan thought he had ball 4 there. And we've seen a few instances of that, where the strike zone just a little wider than Brookline expects it to be. And now a full count. Fouls this one off and stays alive. But on the note of the confusion that Brookline's had over the strike zone a few times, one important thing to note is that the ball is coming in at a different direction than you're used to because it's a lefty pitcher. So that can potentially throw things off when it's right near the corner of the zone. That one is going to miss low, however, and Jernigan draws a free pass to first. One out, one runner on. And up comes the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. Kravitz pops this one in the infield. Third baseman under it, and he's got it for out number 2. Two down now. And up comes the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. First pitch in there for strike one. Hart, his last time up, he reached on an E6. Before that, he reached on a single. Hart fooled on the off speed that time. In the hole here at 0-2. That one's going to miss for ball 1. Jernigan at first, 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. 1-2, the count to Hart. And he catches him chasing, and Hart goes down on strikes. The offensive woes continue for Brookline as we are 6 innings in. The score, Natick 2, Brookline 0. Engelman back on the mound for another inning of relief work for Brookline. As things stand, if there are no changes, in the score, then Engelman will be credited with the loss on the mound, which is, which is a bummer. Not just in the sense that the team loses, but also that Engelman gets such a negative mark on an outing like this, because this has been a strong outing for Engelman. I mean, outside of that extra inning marathon he had against Wellesley, I think this might be one of, if not his most impressive pitching outing so far this season, as he recovered very nicely after a shaky first inning on the mound back in the third, coming in a very unexpected situation due to Dialchin Derrickson's apparent elbow injury. And since then, he's largely been taking care of business. And he hopes to continue to do so here on the top of the seventh. Stepping back up to the plate for Natick is their pitcher, number 33, Charlie Collins. That one is going to miss outside, ball one. So for those of you that don't know, Collins returns back to the plate, even though he was the batter when the inning ended last inning, because it ended on a caught stealing. And so when an inning ends with a runner being caught stealing, that means the batter didn't get to finish their at-bat, which means they come back on the next inning to finish it. Swing and a miss there, and it'll be a 2-1 count to Collins. And he fouls that one off for strike two. That one's going to come in high for ball three. A full count to Collins now. Engelman steps off the rubber. That one catches the zone, strike three. Engelman comes through with the payoff pitch that time. And now one down as up comes the first baseman, number 3, Jason O'Keefe. First pitch catches the inside corner, strike one. And he makes contact right back at Engelman. A simple 1-3 ground out for out number 2. Now with 2 down, up comes the left fielder, number 1, Jack Wireman. No, we've got a pinch hitter. We've got a pinch hitter. This is number 21, Braden Homer. First pitch to Homer misses for ball one. That pitch curves in nicely for strike one. And he fouls that one off for strike two. That one misses, ball two. Looked very briefly like Doctoroff was getting ready to trot off to the dugout, but they're not finished yet. That's a grounder. That's going to go foul up the third base side. And it'll be a 2-2 count to Homer, as he stays alive with that one. That one just misses as well, and that's going to be ball 3. Full count, 2 outs. And again, it just misses. 3 straight pitches just barely miss, and Homer draws a free pass. Now coming up, the shortstop, number 9, Ryan Jewett. Homer taking a sizable lead off from first, and they throw back to the bag. That pitch comes inside for ball 1. And Jewett lifts this one out to right. Charging in his heart, and he falls out for it. Nico Hart snags that one and puts an end to the inning. So once again, the Brookline defense takes care of business. But once again, it is up to the offense to try and make something happen. In the live chat from Mark Talon, time to put on the rally caps. And that is definitely the mood for Brookline right now. And apologies if I butchered your last name there, Mark. Due up for Brookline in the bottom of the 7th is going to be the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Brendel, Hoffman, and Siegel. Collins back on the mound, trying to finish his second complete game shutout against Brookline in as many seasons. This is his third outing against Brookline, as he pitched both games against the Warriors last year. Both times he pitched the full game. All 7 innings in the first one and all 5 in the second. Both times giving up 0 earned runs. He gave up 2 unearned runs in the second outing. But in that first one, just a complete game shutout. And he's on the doorstep of doing it again. And it's not like Brookline's been completely incapable of hitting against Collins. They've just been unable to string something together. Certainly a big part of it has got to be the lack of free passes, as there has only been 2 walks allowed this entire game by Collins. And for a team like Brookline that prides itself on its plate patience and its ability to manufacture offense in whatever way is necessary, that's tough to take something like walks off the table. First pitch going to skip in low, and that's going to be ball 1. Starting off here in the bottom of the 7th is the designated hitter, number 23, Elias Brendel. And that one is low for ball 2. Brendel, his last time up, went down on strikes. He's 0 for 2 so far today. That one catches the zone for strike 1. And Brendel hits a grounder. That's going to go foul up the first base line for strike 2. Brendel reaches out, hits a grounder. Charging in and taking it at second. Throw to first is in time for out number 1. One down here in the 7th. For Brookline, up comes the second baseman, number 2, Owen Hoffman. First pitch in there, strike 1. Hoffman, his last time up, he popped or lined out, I should say, to short as he swings and fouls that one off for strike 2. Before that, Hoffman struck out and the second, so he is 0 for 2 so far. That one inside, ball 1. That one also low for ball 2. Lifts this one out to center, and that's going to drop in front of the center fielder. Owen Hoffman secures his second base hit of the season. And Brookline hoping that that is just the beginning, as we got a visit out at the mound now with Collins. There has been some action going in the bullpen for Natick, but they're going to stick with their ace for now. With a runner at first and 1 out. Tying run is at the plate here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And coming to the plate, the center fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. First pitch comes in high, ball 1. Siegel 0 for 2 so far today with a strikeout and a flyout to left. And Siegel sliced that one foul and out of play. And that'll be strike 1. That one comes in high for ball 2. Brookline dugout bringing the noise here in the bottom of the 7th. Siegel slices it, and that's going to float out of play again for strike 2. And that's in there for strike 3. Brookline now down to their final out. And it will be their leadoff hitter and shortstop, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Sawada 0 for 3 so far today with a strikeout and a pair of groundouts. Reaches out, hits a liner. That's going to drop in left for a base hit. Sawada keeps Brookline's hopes alive here in the bottom of the 7th. And so now Brookline's last chance turns over to the catcher, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. And Doctoroff tips that one for strike one. Doctoroff 1 for 2 so far today with a single, a walk, and a strikeout. And that one hits him. Doctoroff gets hit, and the bases are now loaded. Doctoroff with the poise to hang in there and let that one hit his leg. And now the bases are juiced. The tying run is at second. Up comes the third baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. First pitch inside, ball one. That one outside, ball two. Kessler 0 for 3 so far today. Grounded out to lead off the sixth his last time up. Hoping for a big play here. Swings and fouls it. 2-1 now the count. With two runners in scoring position, a hit to the outfield could potentially tie this game. But one out will end it. The 2-1 pitch. And Kessler fouls it off, strike two. Brookline down to their final strike. Bases loaded. They trail Natick by 2. 2-2, the count to Nate Kessler. And he swings and misses. Charlie Collins finishes the job for the Redhawks. The final score here at Warren Field, the Natick High Redhawks 2, the Brookline High Warriors 0. A tough one for Brookline, a number of scoring opportunities they just could not capitalize on against a very strong Natick pitcher in Charlie Collins. Give the Brookline defense a lot of credit for making a lot of great plays themselves and keeping Natick's score to a minimum, always keeping the game within striking distance. But ultimately, the Redhawks come away with the win. Recapping the action here in today's game, in the top of the first, the Redhawks went down in order. In the bottom of the first, a one-out walk and a two-out double put runners at second and third, but they were left stranded. In the top of the second, Natick went down in order again. In the bottom of the second, Brookline got a leadoff single and moved that runner to second on a ground out, but the runner was caught between second and third on a heads-up pickoff play by the Natick catcher, Will Fosberg. And with that threat, Brookline went no further in the bottom of the second. Then in the top of the third, tragedy struck for Brookline as their starting pitcher, James D'Alchand Erickson, was forced to leave the game with what appeared to be an injury to his throwing elbow. Certainly hope he's okay. And then immediately after that, Natick started a bit of a rally. A single, a reach on an E5, and a walk loaded the bases, and then a bases-loaded walk by Robert Farr brought in Hank Bodewin to score the game's first run. After that, Fosberg grounded into a fielder's choice at second, bringing in a second run for Natick, but on that same play, a runner got caught between third and home, which ended the inning. So Natick got their second run on the board, and that would be the last run of the game as both teams' defenses bared down and simply shut down all opportunities from there on out. In the bottom of the third, Brookline got a 2-out single, and the runner got to second on a wild pitch, but could not score him. Top of the fourth, Natick went down in order. Bottom of the fourth, Brookline got a pair of runners on, thanks to a couple of errors, but could not get them home. In the top of the fifth, once again, Natick went down in order. In the bottom of the fifth, Brookline went down in order. In the top of the sixth, Natick got a leadoff man on a dropped third strike, but then a 4-6-3 double play put it at 2 outs. A big triple by Fosberg brought in a big threat, but then Fosberg was caught stealing home on a passed ball, and that ended the inning again with no score. Bottom of the third, Brookline got a 1-out walk, but could not advance the runner. Top of the seventh, Natick got a 2-out walk, but could not advance the runner. And then in the bottom of the seventh, Brookline managed to load the bases with 2 outs, but could not bring the runners home. And that was how the ball game ended. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Remember, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. If there's anything you would like to say, I encourage you to say it in the comment section after this game has completed. After the live stream is completed, that is. And be sure to go down below to the description section of the video to find out to find the link to our local charity Spotlight Language Virtual. Find out how you can register either as a volunteer student teacher of English language lessons if you are multilingual, or how you can register as a student for free online courses if you or someone you know is in need of English language lessons, or how you can simply donate to the cause. Be sure to check out my personal website, jessesports.com, or send me an email if you would like to ask any questions or make any requests. And be sure to follow me on Instagram, where I sometimes post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that is going to do it. Final score, the Natick Redhawks 2, the Brookline Warriors 0. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.